Welcome back. So all eyes on the top court, and on the other hand, developments taking place at the ED office as well, where Siddharth Pithani and Shruti Modi have reached. They are being interrogated. This is round 3 of the ED's investigation. Of course, the Enforcement Directorate is looking into the financial irregularity aspect and want to seek information of whether these individuals are privy to financial transactions that were taking place. Remember, the family has leveled several serious allegations against individuals like Rhea Chakrabarti, her family, and others who were living with Sushant Singh Rajput at that point in time. Let's go across to Kajal. She's joining us from outside the ED office, I believe. Kajal, the investigation, round 3 of interrogation has begun once again. The ED specifically is looking into the financial irregularity aspect and wants to know whether Shruti Modi and Siddharth Pithani were in know of the irregularity that the family claims has taken place.
Yes, of course. The main aspect that the ED is investigating is the money that the family feels has been taken out of Sushant Singh's accounts and used by Rhea Chakrabarti and family. Whether this was done under some sort of manipulation, where was that money invested, what was really done, all of these things are being investigated right now, and they will be focusing on these aspects. Remember, Rhea so far has not been called for questioning today, but she did leave her home, presumably to be with her lawyers, who would probably be participating through video conferencing in that hearing in Supreme Court, and to perhaps get further legal counsel from them. But so far as the ED case is concerned today, Siddharth Pithani and Shruti Modi are inside right now, and they are being grilled on various financial aspects.
Right. Let's go across to Priyank as well. Priyank, we're playing out, in fact, the list of questions that could be asked to Siddharth Pithani regarding the source of income, regarding whether IT returns were filed, whether he was in know-how of the financial transactions that were taking place, who was withdrawing the money, was Sushant Singh Rajput being influenced, being manipulated. Priyank?
See, Swati, certainly I could not hear the last part of the question, but the fact of the matter is that the Enforcement Directorate want to get into the financial aspect of this particular investigation. Shruti Modi has been questioned for the third time, is being questioned rather, at this Enforcement Directorate office, and this is the second day for Siddharth Pithani to join the investigation. But one more important person who is expected to join the investigation anytime soon is Meetu. Meetu Singh is the sister of Sushant Singh Rajput. She's the second daughter of Mr. KK Singh, the main complainant in this case, who could be able to tell it to the ED officials regarding the kind of relationship that the family had and what sort of financial irregularity the family has been suspecting. Yesterday, we know that KK Singh and one more sister of Sushant Singh Rajput had already recorded their statement before the Central Bureau of Investigation, where they are claiming that the CBI should probe this case as a case of murder, not as an abetment to suicide, which the family has earlier claimed. And right now, the questioning has just begun, and within few minutes from now, what we can tell to our viewers, that Meetu Singh, the sister of Sushant Singh Rajput, will be coming before the Enforcement Directorate, and she will be recording their statement. But looking at the manner in which Siddharth Pithani, Swati, was taken from this ED headquarters, where we could not get visuals of Siddharth Pithani leaving from here. And today, once again, ED officials bringing Siddharth Pithani clearly gives an indication that he could be a prosecution witness in this particular case. Other people are being questioned as an accused, but Siddharth Pithani being taken by the ED officials and being brought by the ED officials in their own car is suggestive over the fact that sooner or later, Siddharth Pithani is willing to become a prosecution witness in this case, who will spill the beans, that what happened, how these things were happening. So this is the most important factor which we can sense after being on the ground.
But that's a very important detail that you are sharing with our viewers, that it's quite possible that he could be considered as a prosecution witness in the entire case. But of course, we have to wait for those confirmations coming in from the agency itself. Let's quickly also go across to our senior editor, Madhav Das Gopalakrishnan. Madhav, ED office, the interrogation has begun. Shruti Modi is already there. Siddharth Pithani is being questioned now. What is important as far as Shruti Modi is concerned is that the family has called Shruti Modi a stooge of Riya Chakrabarti. The father, in fact, has now shared WhatsApp messages that he was trying to reach out to Shruti Modi also. He also told Shruti Modi that I spoke to Sushant Singh Rajput. He was worried about something. You please book my flight to Mumbai. I want to visit him. So all of this suggests that the family knew something was wrong and the family was constantly trying to get in touch with Sushant. Also highlights that maybe Sushant was, blocked, or rather this information, this message was blocked from reaching Sushant Singh Rajput.
Well, Swati, it's quite clear that the family in the past also has been saying that it was Riya who was completely in control of Sushant's life, and therefore, to a large extent, have maintained that they have, in fact, been blocked by Riya from meeting Sushant. Even the fact that they were not allowed to speak to him on the phone as much as they used to earlier until Riya came into Sushant's life. All of those charges, clearly, the family is hoping will be corroborated with this release of all of these images of screenshots, rather, of the WhatsApp messages. And also adding to the mystery is the fact that these messages were not responded to, which perhaps suggests that both Shruti Modi and Riya Chakrabarti were in some way trying to keep Sushant's family away from Sushant for whatever reasons best known to them, which of course further strengthens the family's perspective. But I just want to bring you up to speed with what's happening in the Supreme Court. This is item number 13 that is expected to come up today, and there are just one or two cases in fact left before the matter is actually heard. So any minute now we could perhaps hear this particular case coming in. It's going to be a very, very power-packed hearing because the kind of people who are representing the different aspects, of course, there's Satish Manish as far as Riya Chakrabarti is concerned. There is Abhishek Manu Singhi for the government of Maharashtra. On the other side, you have Sushant's father represented by Vikas Singh. You have Mukul Rohatgi representing the government of Bihar, and also you have Tushar Mehta, in fact, representing the centre. In the past, the centre, last hearing they had, in fact, announced that the centre is willing to actually go ahead and give this probe to the CBI.
Our guests also